All right, 1 year ago, I had to convince Dan's wife on the phone for about 30 minutes to let Dan move to Florida. So we're happy you're here.
Yeah!
I'm going to chat real quick about a couple things. At the beginning of last year, we put up that we were going to focus on two things: self-accountability and excellence. And when I wrote those, I thought that I had some pretty good insight into the words and the meaning, and a lot of you guys took heed to that and really worked hard last year to do it. My words for this year have changed, and they've changed into what I believe is going to be an easier way for us to digest and implement it. And they are an honest self-evaluation and massive corrective action. So, how many people in this room wrote out your goals and your learning challenge that I handed out? Really wrote it out? Raise your hand. All right, I appreciate the honesty. Okay? The other people did not. Now, I want to give you an analogy. We all are watching the NFL playoffs, I assume, right? Imagine if you were a defensive back for the New England Patriots and you played for Bill Belichick. Okay? Imagine during the playoffs and during a game that you missed 3 or 4 tackles. You blew a coverage and caused a touchdown. You got multiple interference calls. What do you think would happen to that cornerback that's playing for Belichick on that defense?
Bench him, yeah.
You go to the bench, right? Now, what if you were that player and you said, well, it's not my fault. The coaches didn't do a good enough job teaching me. Or the head coach didn't inspire me enough. Or I wasn't yelled at enough, that's why I didn't play good. Or my teammates did not give me the love, and that's why I didn't play good. Do you think Bill Belichick would then take that person and say, oh, we're all good, go back in the game?
No.
Because what happens is, we're responsible as human beings for doing an honest self-evaluation of ourselves, how we are, how we're performing, how we're doing, how we're acting, and then take massive action to correct it. So, you know, one thing I like about Brandon Honda is that I have a partner that allows me to operate the store, because the biggest problem with human beings right now in today's day and era is entitlement and dishonesty with themselves. The biggest problem with human beings that are underperforming right now is they make excuses and they blame others. Nothing's ever their fault. Coaches didn't coach me right, head coach didn't inspire me, I wasn't yelled at enough, my teammates didn't give me the love. It's everybody else's fault except themselves. So if you want to really take 2015 to the next level, guys, you got to do what I put up on that board. If you're not selling enough cars and your closing percent isn't right, and you're not performing or making the growth you deserve, stop blaming others, stop making excuses, and do something about it. You know, my favorite quote: if you don't like something, do something about it. And when you do it, take massive action. Now, we're human beings. I know that sometimes we get motivated, inspired, and we go at it. And that day, we do everything right. And then the next day, we may, something happens, something throws us out of the loop. But the key, guys, is the reason I give you those written goals and learning challenge is you got to read it every day, and you got to write it every day. And if you're focused on every day just trying to improve and be a little bit better, you're going to make leaps and bounds, because it's the compounding strategy. So, you know, I look at some of the underperformers in this world, and you see the same thing. They're out of shape, they're not eating right, they have a bad attitude, they're unmotivated, they're not prepared, they're not energized, they're not inspired, and most importantly, they're not taking any massive correction action to fix those things, right? So what if I had a shit year in 2014 at Brandon Honda, and I said to my partner, I said, well, you got to remember, Honda's advertising sucks, Honda finance sucks, their certified program sucks. Honda was only up 1% last year. Why do you think we should be up more than 1% when Honda's only up 1%? Our competition's throwing cars out. They're spending way too much money on advertising. I'm losing people because we can't pay them. What do you think would happen if I made all those excuses to my partner?
He's going to correct it and get rid of you.
I would be on the bench, and he'd get a guy that looks just like me, sit up here and run Brandon Honda for probably less money.
But there's nobody like you, boss.
So my point is, I love the fact that somebody puts control in my hands and says, hey Marazzi, it's your deal. You want to be a big boy, you want big boy, you're going to have big boy problems, right? But it's on you. So you have to perform. So I want to give you an example of what I'm talking about. As some of you guys know, I went through a very, very tough, hard 3 years of a divorce. It wore me out emotionally, financially, even physically, as much as I like to stay in shape. So going into 2015, I got my divorce finalized November 5th. Going into 2015, I realized that there were some components in my life that were not right because of that divorce, mainly my relationship with my 2 daughters and my brother. Because I know my daughters went through the same thing because they're on both sides of the equation. So going into 2015, I invited my daughters over to my house, and on a Saturday night, we sat around the table, and I printed them out the learning challenge, the life goals, and we sat as a family and wrote out our goals together. I answered their questions. I asked them to think deep. We went through 2 or 3 different copies, scribbling, fixing it. We all read our goals together. And in the end, I said, girls, we're going to make 2015 the best year we've ever had at us 3, personally. I said, but if we want to get to a better place, we have to do something different. So what are we going to do different that's going to get us there? And they both said, well, I guess we got to get more insightful, and we got to learn more, and we got to do things more as a family. I said, exactly. So I did my research. I gave you guys on that handout the people I follow on YouTube. One of the guys is Brendan Burchard. Well, I researched Brendan. I happen to think the guy is the best success coach and trainer in psychology and self-improvement that I've ever seen. I invested in his mastery course, which is a 5-week course. It's done online. But my point is, I got my daughters and me to do it. So every day we watch 45-minute video, and then each day at night we have a conference call and we discuss it. We set up a note in our Note Masters on our smartphone, which each one of you guys can do, where you can list the bullet points of what you learn. And every night we talk on the phone and we discuss the individual tape that we've seen, all in the eyes of taking massive corrective action. First time I called him, we had the conference call, it was like crickets. I'm doing the whole call. So what do you think, what you get, what you that? So finally I said, girls, I want you to open up. Started asking them questions, We've now gone through the first 4 modules on Brendan's mastery course, guys. I gotta tell you, it's changed me personally, and it's changed my relationship with my daughters. It's changed me motivational and insightful-wise, just listening to that tape. How many people have ever heard of audible.com? Just little thing that I learned. On your smartphone, there's an app called audible.com. You guys can literally go into Amazon and download any audiobook onto your phone. And I was thinking about it, Sam mentioned the gazebo and standing outside and all that. Man, one negative to an open floor that we have is the fact that you all stand out there, and then you feel if you leave, you lose your spot in line. But we're being unproductive during that period. Audible.com, you can download any book. I'm listening to it in my car right now, Brendan Burchard's The Charge, which I think is one of the best books I've ever, but I listen 20 minutes in, 20 minutes home every day. You guys should have earbuds in your ears outside with your smartphone, educating yourself on how you can be a better person, with your family, spiritually, financially, emotionally, and business-wise. You should be learning new skills every day. You should be making a commitment to growing your knowledge and inspiration and power each and every day. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I'm telling you, because that's what happens. If we want to do better, we got to get better. We can't just want to do better. We already spend $250,000 a month in advertising, guys. We already do some of the slickest things to generate traffic and action at Brandon Honda that you've ever seen. Now, we're going to get a tailwind in 2015. You guys that have put into work the last couple of years, you're going to get a tailwind. That tailwind is the HRV that's coming out is sensational. People are going to be beating down the door to buy it. The Pilot gets introduced next month at the Chicago Auto Show. My buddy that's in my 20 group has seen the vehicle. He said it's no doubt mid-size SUV of the year. He said it is the best looking, slickest thing. Then we're going to get an all-new Civic. Then we're going to get an all-new Ridgeline. So we're going to have the momentum product-wise. You know, Honda was up 1%. 2015 is the year of Honda. But we got to be prepared personally to handle that. We got to be prepared that we're really doing an honest self-evaluation. Are you in the right shape? Are you energized? Are you eating right? Are you taking supplements? Are you fueling your mind with positive things each morning? Are you putting into work? Do you have a good attitude? Are you a good teammate? Are you a good father? Are you a good person? And if you have a kink or an issue with any of that, that doesn't make you a bad person. Because we can't do anything about the past. All we can do is handle how we handle it from this point forward, which is what my commitment to my daughters to get them kind of out of this. It's a new life, it's a new era, it's a new time, and what we're going to do is get ourselves mentally and physically prepared to get there. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
I injured myself, and you guys all know I'm very into physical fitness. Not only did I have the flu for 2 weeks, I severely sprained my foot, tweaked my shoulder, whatever. So I could have said, woe is me, woe, you know, I can't work out, can't do that. Well, I figured out, okay, ask yourself good questions, get good answers. What can I do to solve that problem? Because I can't go box jumping and, you know, throwing tires around. And the answer was spin class. So now, because it's easy on my foot till I heal in my shoulder, I'm doing spin 3-4 days a week, and I actually love it. You know, you sweat, burn 600 calories, bunch of pretty girls to the right and left of you. I mean, you really can't complain about that. So that's my point, guys, is when you're honest and then you take action. You want to make 100 grand. We're going to keep the floor at Brandon Honda always at a reasonable amount, because I believe, as Driss said, when you have professionals, not only do you have to treat them as professionals, you have to give them the support network they need as professionals, but they also got to make money. And we're going to make sure that happens. So there is really no excuse at Brandon Honda why you shouldn't be super successful. And let's all be honest about that.
Right.
I mean, we got the inventory, the advertising, the management support, the reputation, the facility, the town, the product, the customer base. We got it all. So that honest self-evaluation. And then step 2, like I just wrote excellence last year. That wasn't right. It's not excellence. It's taking massive corrective action. And once again, don't beat yourself up for anything that happened in the past. It's irrelevant. Honest evaluation, move forward with great action. Anybody that I can help personally, any advice you need, any question you have, you're welcome to come to my office, email me, come see me, whatever. I would be glad to help. And we also got a lot of great people sitting around this table that can help. So that's my message for you today. I really want you to focus on that, guys. If we as a group focus on getting better in 2015, at the end of 2015, we are going to do some astounding things at Brandon Honda. Does everyone agree?
Yes.
Thank you, God. All right, let's go.